there are bed bugs in your hotel. The Ritz, the Waldorf, anywhere you go, there are bed bugs in that hotel. See, you guys are feeling the cozy vibe, so we're back with another cozy vibe. This is Travel School episode 5, and of course we'll be talking about hotels, how to pick them, why I'm picking them, you know, the why of traveling. Remember, watch that first video. I am not a fan of Airbnbs, so I really won't be giving you too much details, if any, about them in this video. So this video is definitely just gonna be geared towards straight up hotels. For me, when I'm selecting a hotel, I typically use a third party. I use a third party to search. I pretty much use like Expedia. Expedia is like, I would say my first search engine. Then there's like secondary, like there's booking.com and stuff like that. Has the most options in my experience of like hotels. A lot of hotels partner with them as opposed to like booking.com, Hotel Hopper, and all those, I think it's Hotel Hopper, whatever it is. Actually, that's Flight Hopper. But whatever other third-party sites, not many people might be familiar with them, so they have less options when searching. But for me, Expedia does keep things streamlined. This is not a paid ad. I'm just telling you what I use. So really, I just start off, you know, with the country that I have in mind. Another thing, this is also going to be like international friendly, because for me, when I'm domestic, I mainly stay at Hilton's. I really keep it simple. I stay at Hilton's. Unless it's in a sketchy area, I might do like a Marriott or something like that. Sorry to Marriott girlies. I used to be a Marriott girly, but after COVID, like their standard service just has sucked. I don't know what it is. No shade, don't shoot the messenger. I know the girls like to tussle, but I'm just telling you that I prefer Hilton. So when I'm domestic, 95% of the time, I'm using Hilton. So this doesn't really apply. First thing I'll do, I'll identify my country. So by this point, I've already looked at my flights. I know what dates I'm going to be traveling. So now I'm just looking for the hotel. And I will say that for me, the hotel is the most important part of my trip. I'm not really picky about what country I travel to, because again, I want to travel the world. So at this point, I'm just checking off countries, but my hotel is by far the most important. If I cannot find a hotel that I like in a safe area, that's clean, with great reviews, and not going to cost much money, I'm not going on my trip. I do not care how cheap the flight is, you know, what's going on. So for me, the first thing I do, I kind of have like 2 tabs open. I'm kind of describing what I'm going to do. So I have 2 tabs open. I'll have Expedia open, and I'll have like a tab for like researching areas. So for example, when I went to Thailand, there's so many different areas. Some might be sketchy. So you kind of want to, you know, see where the hotel is, and then kind of like Google, what is this area? Is it safe? Just do a basic Google search. And of course, look at multiple sites, multiple places. And the reason being is because there are different types of travelers. Somebody might like a certain area because it's cheap, but they don't care that, you know, you might get shot at, you know, down the block. You kind of want to see like what the consistent consensus is when it comes to an area. You can use TikTok if you like. I know girls like TikTok, but blog sites are very good for this. If you want to search like different social media, like maybe like Twitter, X, you just want to have enough people talking about this area. So when I type in a location, I'm going to Phuket, Thailand, I'll see a whole bunch of hotels. First thing I do, I look at how far it is from the airport, because that's going to determine a lot. Are all the hotels typically far from the airport? Because this determines your transportation costs. Do they have Ubers? Do they have taxis? How are you going to get to this place? The hotel provides shuttles. Does the hotel provide transportation? Is it free? Is it going to cost money? And typically, if a hotel is farther out and I'm landing at night, I also won't choose it, because I kind of don't want to be riding around in another country that late. Actually, that's a lot. I don't really mind. But for people who are new to traveling, if you're traveling late, you want to be mindful of that. You don't want to be driving 2 hours in the dark by yourself in an Uber for your first time. Nothing is going to happen to you. Most likely nothing's going to happen to you. But you want to be cautious the first time you're like solo traveling or going anywhere by yourself. So that's one thing I look out for. Then I look at their amenities. What do they have? I need AC. I know some of you girls, you beach babes, like to sleep in 160-degree weather. I'm not that type. I like to sleep in 60 degrees and below. So I need some AC. So do they have AC? Do they have restaurants on site? Is it all inclusive? Is the front desk 24 hours? I typically like places that are 24 hours because I want to be able to have access to somebody to help me at all times. I prefer places with a restaurant, but it's not a must. I can always just go off, the hotel and go get some food. I also need Wi-Fi. I want to be able to communicate. Like I do, on my phone does have data, so I don't need to get Wi-Fi, so to speak. But say my data went out for some reason, or say like the service is bad, I at least want to have Wi-Fi to be able to communicate with anybody in case of any emergency. I've never had an emergency, but again, I just want these things in place. So once I kind of like look at that, I look at the rooms. Are the rooms cute? Do they have what I need? Do the beds look comfy? I just kind of get a gist of what I like. So for me, I'm like the happy medium. I would say I'm the happy medium. I'm not staying in a dungeon. I'm not doing the Motel 8s. I'm not doing the bunk beds with 26 strangers. I'm not doing that. I think up until like maybe like a year and a half ago, I was kind of like, I don't really want to spend, so much money on a hotel. You skimp on in one area, you'll pay for another area. So typically, if you're having a hotel that's out of the way, you're gonna spend a lot, and it's cheaper, you're gonna spend a lot of money on transportation. So again, happy medium. I want a nice comfy room, maybe with a nice view, a balcony. But then in like last year and a half, I'm like, even though I don't spend a lot of time in my hotel room, I do like the nice room. So as of late, I've been doing like the private villas, with the pool and the balcony, because whenever I come back from hitting the streets, I want to relax, relax. And you also have a lot more things going on in these rooms. Like they can do like floating breakfast. The services obviously is much better. So I've grown to like, the private villas within hotels and resorts. But again, if you like to stay in the 26 bunk bed types of hotels, more power to you. They are cheaper. So if you don't mind costing, you don't mind sharing your room, sharing your space with 26 strangers, you go right ahead. But this is really for people who just like, don't want to stay in a hotel. They want to break the bank, but again, they don't want to be wrestling gangbangers. After that, I look at locations. So for me, I want to be close to some type of public transportation. I love to take public transportation when I'm out the country. It has to be close to some type of landmark. Again, I want to be around a lot of people, just so that people are seeing me, that there's a lot of people seeing me, so that it's very hard for me to go missing without a trace. What else? I would say that's it. And depending on the location, so if I'm going to like a tropical destination, I wouldn't be close to a beach. I prefer my hotel to be on a beachfront. There's some people who do not want to be bothered, do not want to be seen, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm just telling you how I do things and why I pick hotels a certain way. And again, this kind of like boils down to one, I want, to have like a safety net within like either people that I'm meeting or hotel staff. I want to be close to public transportation because I want to be able to like move around. So say, there's taxis, or I'm afraid of the taxis, I'm afraid of the Ubers, I don't feel comfortable. Public transportation where there's a lot of people, that should be another option. Close to like a centralized location, so that if all else fails, I can just walk. I will walk for days. I do not care. So it's kind of like just making sure that I'm not confined to a location, that if I ever need to, move around, I can. And the cost is okay. They have the room that I like. The next thing that I do is I look through reviews. I spend so much time looking at reviews. It's actually insane. And the reason I do this is because I want to know what other people's experience is. Experience is the best teacher. So I look to see like what people are saying. You know how like when you're shopping and you do sort by low to high? When you're on a budget, I do the same thing with hotels. I start from the lowest of the lowest reviews. I want to know what people hated about this hotel. I need to know that first. And when I'm going through reviews, I look for common themes. There's always going to be like somebody who is just never satisfied. But for the most part, people from different walks of life, different countries, are not going to come to the same conclusion unless it's actually true. So if I see more than 2 people saying like, oh, the staff is rude, I'm gonna conclude that the staff is rude. If one person that they've seen roaches or bed bugs, I'm gonna be like, But if I see 2, 3 people, 2, 3, 4, 5 people say they saw roaches, they most likely still have roaches. And the reason why I said is because I would say all hotels have roaches. All hotels have bed bugs, all of them. Because I used to work in a hotel, so I kind of know these things. They all have some type of cleanliness issue, but it's a matter of how well do they manage it. So you need to look into that. If people can see these roaches and people are experiencing these bed bugs, they're not taking care of it. It's just, people can say, I don't want no bed bugs. There are bed bugs in your hotel. The Ritz, the Waldorf, anywhere you go, there are bed bugs in that hotel. In fact, there's like a list. There's like a website list shows you all the hotels that have ever had a bed bug report, and you will probably see a lot of high-end hotels on there. So no hotel is exempt. So once I look through the reviews, I see like, what are my non-negotiables? Of course, cleanliness, how responsive the staff are, the area, what do people say about the area? Actually tells you the category of traveler. So they'll tell you if the person who wrote the review is a solo traveler, if they were a family, if it was like a group, which is also very helpful because you kind of want to know, like, do they cater to what you're looking for? Are you a solo traveler? You want to hear from another solo traveler. So that's another site that's actually good for that. But in general, I just look through those reviews and look for like glaring red flags. If there's no red flag, okay. I need to see reviews that talk about the staff. I need to know that the staff are friendly. I need to know that the staff are attentive. The reason that is, especially, again, this is like a solo travel friendly video, is because I would say like the hotel staff is like your first line of defense in another country. They're going to be seeing you every single day. They probably have a copy of your most important documents. So for me, when I get to a hotel, I make friends with all the hotel staff. I ask all of them their names. They know my name. I make sure that they see me enough. Typically I'm wearing bright colors so that they'll notice me, because God forbid, this is just like my line of thinking. Say, someone goes missing. You want somebody that would say like, hey, this girl is usually walking back and forth at this hour, but I did not see her today. That's very odd. And I kind of tell like the hotel workers, like I usually tell immediately, I tell them that I'm traveling by myself. I'm not expecting anybody. And if I'm going out to like Gallivant, especially like late at night, sometimes I do hitchhike, don't judge me. But if I'm going out late at night, I tell them like, I'm going out with this person. If you don't see me back by this hour, please look for me. And it may seem excessive, like, why are you putting this burden on hotel staff? But a lot of them are happy to do it because their reputation is on the line. And if something does happen to you, they're going to be the ones that are questioned, because they're going to be like, well, did you see this person? When did you last see this person? They slept here, they left here at this time, they didn't check out, but you didn't see them for 2 days. They're going to question you. So it kind of like helps their case in case something goes wrong. So I'm very friendly with hotel staff. So I'm looking at the reviews like, are the hotel staff friendly? Are they attentive to your needs? That type of thing. And I wish I would have I recorded that before? I'm pretty sure I recorded like interactions with hotel staff, and maybe in a future like video I might post like how I interact with them. But I did have hotel staff look for me this one time because I forgot that I told them that I was going to be back by a certain time, and I was not, and they absolutely did blow up my phone. So and you don't want to be the girl who cried wolf, like, oh, I'll be back at 10. Oh, I forgot. And then they're gonna be like, okay, I can't take this girl seriously. You want to make sure that you're carrying yourself well, you're not being rude. I've seen so many rude people. I'm like, why would you be rude to hotel staff? You don't know if they're gonna tell the kitchen staff to spit in your food, to put a box of bed bugs in your room when you go out. So I would not be rude to hotel staff. I think everybody wants something bad to happen to the sweet girl. Now, if you have an attitude and you curse people out, they probably like to help you. Down which hotels I want using like the compare feature. I now go to the actual website of these hotels, and typically I will book through there. One, because it's cheaper. Sometimes Expedia does have like little deals, but for the most part, in my experience, booking on the website is cheaper. And sometimes if you have enough time and there's a lot of availability, you can reach out to the hotel and say like, hey, can I get a discount, you know, for booking directly through you? They might say no, they might say yes, but either way, you have an answer, you know. If you don't ask, the answer is no. So there's that. What else? Also, another reason why I don't book through Expedia or a third party is because, say, most people do like, you know, free cancellation, or they don't pay until they get there. Technically, you're not a customer of that hotel until you either pay in full through Expedia, which a lot of people don't want to do, or you get there and check in. So that means if you book well in advance, for a lot of people who plan their vacations in advance, if you book well in advance, but there are some slots that want to be filled and people call like, hey, I really want this place, I can play now, they will cancel your reservation without cause, and you can also be stuck. And this often happens like right before your trip, because it'll be like a day or two. It's like, okay, well, you may not answer the phone. They may call you to confirm, you may not answer the phone because it's an unknown number, and they will cancel your reservation. I met a couple in Dubai who had to scramble for a new hotel because the hotel did not tell them that their trip was canceled until they got there. So they landed, went to a hotel, and they were like, oh, we don't got a room for you. And typically you can't really do anything about it because, again, you're not their customer. You're not their customer until you pay them. And I think that's about it. I think I rambled enough about, you know, different aspects of hotel picking. So I'm just going to, like I did the last time, just screen record, you know, my process of, you know, searching, looking, picking, and all that jazz. So follow along. All right, so here we are. Like I said, we're going to be using Expedia. I just typed in Expedia in the search bar. And we're just going to go to the site. It's already populated, you know, with the country, the dates that I just want to experiment with, and the number of travelers. I'm going to touch on the number of travelers a little later. I kind of forgot to mention something when I was rambling. So here are the search results. It's just going to pull up a whole bunch of hotels. And I kind of like play around with certain features. Like I just double check to make sure the dates and the sort by. I don't always do like low to high or stuff like that because, again, there are certain things that I'm looking for, so I really don't pay attention. I just think of like the overall cost. And the thing I forgot to mention is like solo supplements. Sometimes there are solo supplements and you'll see that the price is the same for 2 travelers and 1. So you kind of have to be mindful of that if you care. Just look at the pricing to see if it changes when you go from 1 traveler to 2, and that's how you know if there's a solo supplement. On the left side, you see the compare properties tab that I was referencing, and one of the first things I do, I kind of change the ratings because, like I said, I'm not staying in a dungeon, so the properties that I have to look at least have to be nice and have a good set of reviews at the bare minimum. So yeah, that's why I said to wonderful, which is like 9+, which is equivalent to like 4.5 on a 5 scale type of thing. So you just see all the options here. I kind of bypass ones that only have like a few reviews. I really want the ones with lots and lots of reviews because that means, you know, the reviews are not really biased. They're kind of like consistent. On the left side, you see a bunch of filters. You know, you can just add and change as you like. And then again, you see the neighborhoods, like I mentioned, like the locations of where certain things might be. And then I opened the next tab and I typed in Patong Beach. That's like a part of Thailand. So you can kind of see how I look, you know, for location, like the safety, like what's going on in that area before I book. And when you look, you're going to see a lot of different reviews. Like, you know, they talk about like the nightlife, the drugs. Some people are going to say that it's a very lively place. So in my experience, I think this is a place that's geared more towards like young adults that want to party. So if you're going to this area, to Thailand with your family, I personally wouldn't recommend staying in this area because they have a lot going on, especially, you know, from what I saw with my own 2 eyes. So what they're saying here on these different sites is definitely correct. All right, so we're going back to the properties, and I'm just going to look for some random one and just pick it. This one looks pretty, so we're just going to look at that one. And of course, first thing I do, I scroll down, I look at the features of the hotel, because again, if it doesn't have what I want, I'm not looking at it. I'm not checking for it. And then you see the pictures. Pictures are nice. I'm not really looking for something in particular, just a general, does it look comfy? Is it pretty? I kind of look at different rooms to see what kind of rooms they have. Do they have private villas? Is there a standard room? That type of thing. And after you look at pictures, you can scroll down and see like the different rooms that are available. And they also have like more pictures of the exact room that you'll be staying in and not just a general room. Of course, it's a little close to the date, so a lot of these are sold out, but again, this is just for informational purposes. I'm not actually booking it. So now I look at the location. Like I said, I need something that's like centrally located. I look at, the time it takes to get to a lot of landmarks. Is there a beach nearby? Is there like a centralized location? And it has that. So this is one possibility. So then I'm going to hit the compare properties feature, because now I'm going to be looking at different properties and kind of comparing it to this one, since I kind of like it. But first, I want to look at other properties, just to see if I really do want to compare them. Remember, I'm comparing the ones that kind of like fit my criteria. So right now I'm just scrolling, seeing which one have lots of reviews, because that indicates that a lot of people have stayed there. This one looks somewhat pretty, so I'm just clicking on it. And again, doing the same thing. I am checking the location to see what it's nearby, scrolling to see some pictures. Ooh, this kind of nice. Anyway, yeah, I'm just going through the pictures to see if this is a place that I would like to stay or I can envision myself in, and just seeing, was it nearby, what type of amenities do they have, and stuff like that. I don't think I actually clicked on like the amenities feature so you can see like all the things that they have, but this really gives you all the details. This one has like a shuttle, it has breakfast and a whole bunch of other stuff. So this is something that I also would like. And again, those reviews, them staff, I need to know about their staff. So this is kind of like how I check the reviews. I don't really pay attention to like the AI feature, because they usually tell you the good stuff. So again, I go from the lowest guest rating. I want to hear the worst of the worst. And here is the feature for the travel type, solo, couple, family, whatever. And then here comes like the really tedious part. Like when I did the low to high, there are so many people just leaving like bad ratings but not say anything. So I really do take my time and read. I keep scrolling and read to see like exactly what they say. And some of these are really just people just petty complaining. I might even guess that they're American, because we are always complaining about nothing. So I really take my time to go through reviews like little by little. So now we're going to go back to our search list, because if I sit here and go step by step, detail by detail about how I select these hotels, we'll be here for the rest of my life. So again, we're going to this compare feature. I'm going to select the 2 hotels that I just viewed, and I'm just going to throw in a third, just because I just want you to see the compare feature and like what I kind of look for when I'm doing this. So it's not like it gives it like a full like PowerPoint presentation, but really it just shows you like the different prices, the different reviews, and like what it includes, which is kind of like what I need in order to like make a decision. So it just kind of like helps me streamline and keep it in one place to really decide like, okay, this is a place that I may want to stay. So now we're just going to go to the actual site. I just took note of the price of that one hotel. So I showed you how to search the solo occupancy. I showed you how to organize and compare properties. Now we're going to compare pricing. So this is the hotel that was the first on the list, the M Social Hotel. So I'm just showing you what the price is on Expedia. It is $155 per night, and I'm assuming that's just for the cheapest room. So now we're going to go to the other site just to see like what it comes up as. So here's the site. I'm just scrolling just to show you like all the pictures that's on there, just to show you that it's the exact same one on Expedia. And I'm going to hit book now and show you like the exact same, dates and rooms, to show you if it is actually cheaper to book directly on the site or through Expedia. And again, I'm just going back to show you the price, the dates, the travelers, all is the same. So I put in the dates, I hit next, make sure the adults is the same, just like Expedia, 1 room. And then you hit book now. And then you will see the list of rooms. Drum roll. And yes, it is cheaper. So the members rate is $147.19 a night. It is not much, but it is a difference. Every penny counts, especially if you are traveling on a budget. And even some of the better rooms are still cheaper than that $155 a night. So yes, in this example, it is cheaper to go through the site to book your hotel. All right. And that is it for this example. Like I said, I was going to keep this very short because I rambled in the beginning. You see how this video built upon my first video, the why of traveling? If you are, I don't mind bunking with 26 people, I don't mind picking the hotel in the hood, you need to know these things before you go on a group trip and piss somebody off. Know the type of travel you are, know what your non-negotiables are, know what you must have. Other things, for me, I'm not really an all-inclusive girly, so like how good the food is not really a priority to me because I usually go off of my hotel to eat food. I just want to know that I can get a quick snack if I need to, so that's not really a priority for me. Don't want to go out picking these hotels, having champagne taste on a beer budget, as my mom liked to say. So make sure you watch these videos in order so you kind of know why I'm saying the things I'm saying. All right, that is the end of Travel School episode 5. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you learned some valuable lessons. Please, please, please do not end up in a dungeon in a faraway land dodging bullets because you want to be cheap on your hotel and not do your research. I will see you next week. Yes, next week. I know I usually say 2 weeks, but I will see you next week for a new episode. And of course, like always, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye.